Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
Hey y'all, good morning, and what is going on, and how y'all doing on this Sunday morning? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and I am here for my review of this past Friday night's episode of SmackDown. Of course, the annoying catchphrase to me of it's the season premiere of Friday Night SmackDown. Again, it's the middle of October. You would think either at the beginning of the year or right at WrestleMania or right after a draft or something, which, yes, they used to do a draft around this time of the year, but, you don't. So, I don't know. So, again, strange, not really the biggest fan of the season premiere thing, but they kind of loaded up the card a little bit. We had another tag title match, we had the return of the Tribal Chief, we had Mr. John Cena come out. We had everyone's favorite, L.A. Knight. Yeah! And he's got himself a main event direction, it looks like, coming out of the show. And we also had the King of Kings. Triple H also advertised for the show as well. What was his announcement? We'll talk about that a little bit later on. My overall thoughts on SmackDown, it was one of those shows I felt like that, well, I didn't hate it, but it was still weird. Like, there was stuff they did, I'm like, like, where's this going to? Like, I went into this show, maybe that my thing is I went into the show with a little bit higher expectations because, again, with the whole article this week, again, I talked about a little bit in my Raw review about Triple H being knighted 99.9% of creative control, and that Ari Emanuel himself blamed Vince McMahon for the dropping in stocks for TKO. So I think I went into the show expecting kind of like what we got on Raw. We somewhat got it, but there was stuff they did, I'm like, like, where's this going? Not much of like, I didn't not say I hated it, but more so of like, this is a little strange. Like, I wonder why they went this direction. But we'll talk about it. Again, there was some stuff, well, the best stuff for me, in my opinion, was the stuff with Roman Reigns. And again, say his name with me again. L.A. Knight. Yeah. So that was my favorite stuff on the show. We did have, again, Triple H's announcement I liked, but then it ended a little odd. But we'll talk about it, and we'll go from there. So this show took place, again, this past Friday, October 13, 2023, in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Which, ever since I've binge watched Friends, I can't mention Tulsa without thinking of Chandler. And I guess the Sharks. We're not going to go there. The show, of course, opened up with Mr. The greatest of all time. I'm sorry, he's one of them, but not the greatest of all time. John Cena. He comes out, does the usual greeting, and welcomes us to the season premiere of Friday Night SmackDown. Ugh. He gets on the mic. And then immediately, out comes the Tribal Chief. For the first time since the SmackDown after SummerSlam, alongside with Wise Man, Paul Heyman, and the enforcer of the bloodline, Sikoa. So Roman gets in the ring and says, John Boy, if you're going to open up his show, you got to do it right. And he asks for Tulsa to acknowledge him. He tells the crowd they're chanting for a coward. Cena's only here because he took his leave. And now he's got people calling him the greatest of all time. Roman claims that he is, in fact, the tribal chief and the greatest of all time. He tells Cena to leave or he'll make him. And Cena's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. WWE is always unpredictable. And who knows what will happen with both Roman Reigns and John Cena in the ring. Roman wins because Cena's lost both times he's faced Roman one-on-one on pay-per-view. He's going to throw him a curveball, though. He ain't here to challenge Roman. He's here to acknowledge him. For 1,000, Cena said 1,138 days. The announced team, when Roman was there, said 1,139, but either way. But throughout that time, he's held a title. That's the greatest accomplishment of all time, and it is earned. But he is not here to challenge Roman tonight because he hasn't earned it. But he does know someone who has. And then we hear L.A. Boo. L.A. Knight comes out and he says, let me talk to you. And he starts asking Roman a bunch of basic things before saying what he is standing in his way right now. And of course we see Roman in his sunglasses. It's becoming like a meme and whatnot. And of course he apologizes for not introducing himself, saying things have changed here just a little bit while Roman was at home for a month and a half. And gets the crowd to tell him, whose game is it? L.A. Knight. Yeah. Roman then says, who the hell do you think you are? And L.A. Knight tells him, talking like that is a good way to get yourself spoken of in the past tense. He's the fastest rising star in SmackDown history. And then as he's saying, you see John Cena behind him freaking out, like, no, typical Cena, adrenaline. But Jimmy Uso comes from behind to attack him. But LA Knight just takes it, says, you cheap ass, get out of here. And just dumps him out of the ring like he's nothing. Then Knight's like, anyways, he continues to talks trash. But Roman decides discretion is the best part of valor and takes his leave. He stops to talk with Solo and tells him to forget about Cena and to handle LA Knight. So Solo pops up on the apron and makes LA Knight a challenge for tonight. And then LA Knight tells him, those of us who don't speak more on about the challenge, he welcomes Solo to come get stomped out. So he accepts the challenge, and that is his the main event set for later on in the night. And I'm like, no pun intended. Later on in the night, because we're talking about L.A. Knight. Yeah! So I got that to my my Christmas list. I think that's the number one show. I want an L.A. Knight t-shirt. I don't know, the yellow one, I'm not the biggest fan of. But the one the blue or the blue or the red one that just says L.A. Knight, I think that's the one I want. But we'll see. Of course, they still have them by then because t-shirt designs change all the time and some get discontinued. But anyways, moving on, we have the Brawling Brutes, which are Ridge Holland and Butch. Now Triple H apparently is in full creative control. Can we please just call him Pete Dunne again? I'm glad they at least gave him Pete Dunne's style back. But again, Triple H was going to make him Pete Dunne immediately when he took over. Again, he took over last year. But of course, he kept them together because there was something going with the Brawling Brutes. I did grow to like them as well. But I'm ready just to call him Pete Dunne again. Especially if he's down in NXT doing British Strong Style with Gallus again. Like, call him Pete Dunne again. Please just call him Pete Dunne. Of course, it's not the same because it's Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, and Ridge Holland, but it should be them in Trent 7, but they released Trent 7. That would have been a great... Well, they had a very brief feud in NXT UK before it ended. I still would have loved to have seen a long-term feud between Tyler Bate and Trent 7. Anyways, they took on the returning... Yes, boys! Pretty Deadlies. Kit Wilson and Elton Prince. This overdramatic comeback story, Elton Strong thing. I don't know. I saw this match again. It's the first time in months I've seen Pretty Deadly wrestle. I still don't get them. I mean, okay, they seem like they're trying to establish them as like mind gamers and whatnot. They had a moment towards the end where Elton Prince seems like he's hurt again, and Ridge Holland keeps saying he's faking it out. He's faking it out. The referee didn't believe him. And then, of course, whatever, the referee wasn't looking, Kit Wilson hits like a roundhouse kick on Ridge, and then Elton just rolls him up with a roll-up and gets the win. I don't know, like I said, maybe they'll grow on me, but I'm just not feeling them. Even when they were in NXT UK, like, they gave them a spotlight. They were okay. I just don't see what's that great about them. I mean, okay, yes, their music is some cheesy disco that's kind of catchy. I won't lie about that. I still kind of don't like how they kind of do like the slow-mo thing in their entrance like John Morrison did. I don't know. And I should have said this at the beginning too. I know some stuff on this show was weird, but again, if Triple H is taking full creative control again, he does have another mess to clean up. Because what he had before, most of it Vince ruined when he came back. So I should have been a little more lenient like that. I don't know about Pretty Deadly, though. I don't know. Like I said, they seem like they're going to they're trying to make them thrive more off their psychology. Like the Revival did. Well, FTR. That's why I love them because, you know, they seem smart. Pretty Deadly, again, I don't know, is it the look? Is it the gimmick? Like, again, I hate their attire. I'm sorry, I absolutely hate their attire. It's just disgusting. But we'll see what happens with them. Pretty Deadly get the win for the millionth time over the Brawlin Brutes. Backstage, we have Carlito being interviewed, but then Bobby Lashley interrupts. Says the last time he saw him, he was beating him up, but whatever. Water under the bridge. That was a long time ago. And he welcomes Carlito back to his show. Carlito then says, well, why don't we have my first match back one-on-one? And then Bobby just begs off, and the Street Profits jump Carlito from behind and attack him. They hand Lashley a chair, but then Adam Pearce and Jason Jordan, which I just always crack when I see Jason Jordan. Ah, gosh. Imagine if Jason Jordan was still cleared to wrestle today. Do you think Triple H would have brought back American Alpha? I would love to see American Alpha reunite again. I mean, again, I still like Alpha Academy with Chad Gable and Otis, but would it be cool to see American Alpha reunite again? I really think it would. But anyhow, so they break it up, and then we go to break. I thought that was, well, I even had this discussion with my wife yesterday. That was another segment that I was a little confused by, because it's like, okay, when the Street Profits lost to, when they lost to, what was it, Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar a few weeks ago, Bobby Lashley was pissed. So you would think because they lost again here, Bobby Lashley would be pissed. Instead, though, he wasn't, and they were still together, but they just lost. But then, like my wife said, Bobby was more so pissed a few weeks ago because Angelo Dawkins hesitated. Nobody hesitated. Carlito just snuck the win over them. So, that could be the case more so like they showed the killer instinct, and Bobby Lashley, the Street Profits think that LWO got lucky maybe? Like that might be the way it's going. I don't know. But again, she made a good point. So I'm like, I see where you're going, but I still think it's odd that they didn't have them win. Especially if they're trying to make them dominating. But we'll see. I guess that's going to be a thing. I'm assuming this is going to set up for a U.S. title match, because he also got a victory in a non-title match, Rey Mysterio and Bobby Lashley, a crown jewel for the U.S. title. But I don't know, because I'm starting to hear rumors that Logan Paul apparently called out Rey Mysterio. We've kind of seen that already with Rey Mysterio and Dominic taking on The Miz and Logan Paul at WrestleMania. I guess you could do the match. I don't know, but see, here's the thing. Like, okay, this is me, like, not quite trashing on Logan Paul. It's Crown Jewel, I'm expecting Logan Paul to be there. Because, spoiler alert, for my card predictions, I currently have, which I don't know if I'll get to today or not, I currently have Logan Paul taking on John Cena. The rumors are that John Cena is going to be around till at least Crown Jewel. And then I think he'll be going back. Because I think the strike is over from what I've heard. But again, I'm not sure yet. And John Cena's mentioned before that, as much as he loves WWE, he can't do both because of liability reasons, which I get it. So on my card, I have John Cena taking on Logan Paul. Again, as much as I can't stand Logan Paul, I'd be okay with him winning the mid-card title. The only problem is, though, is he going to be around enough? So that's what, and again, we've already seen him kind of taking on Rey Mysterio. So I still would rather see him face John Cena. Get John on the card before he leaves. And then John can put him over or something. I don't know. We'll see. Although if he would win, then Logan would want to go after the world title, and I don't know. Like, him with the mid-card title, I'm okay with. But I don't know. Anyways, though, we have Bayley complaining and ends up bickering with Zelina Vega. Bayley was complaining as the officials were checking on Carlito. And then Bayley starts complaining, and then Zelina gets in her face, and then they make a match with Zelina Vega and Bayley. Which happened right after that, and it wasn't too long, and Bayley won with the Rose Plan. Afterwards, Damage Control come out, start to attack, just Io and Bayley, because Dakota Kai, who dyed her hair black, by the way, is still not cleared. And then out comes Charlotte Flair to make the save. Which is still weird. Charlotte Flair is being a full-on babyface saving people when Charlotte has the biggest ego of everybody, and I'm just like, that's weird. That's weird also, but we'll talk about Charlotte again in a little bit. But before that match, though, we had a segment backstage with Roman Reigns talking with the guy who thinks he's the shit, the guy who thinks he's the tribal chief. We got Jimmy Uso. There was some line I made while we were watching SmackDown the other night, and I kept telling my wife I was going to say it on this review. I can't remember though what it was though. Dang it! Maybe I'll find it later. It'll come to me later. But anyways, so Jimmy is sitting there with Roman, and Jimmy's defending his spot against Roman Reigns, claiming he's calling audibles and making plays, and Roman's like, "So you think you're the quarterback?" And then basically he's like, "What are you doing?" He says, "What would you do?" Jimmy's like, "I get Jay." Roman says, "Jay is old news. And the problem is that he has tag titles with Cody Rhodes and disrespect the family." And Jimmy's like, "All right, let's go do something about it, Solo. Let's go do something about it, Solo." Again, because even like that had a little bit of like some miscontinuity there. Because why is Roman, first off, completely okay with, like, why... I expected Roman to show up here and just, like, rip Jimmy to shreds. Because really, Jimmy's not been succeeding. He's out there talking, acting like he thinks he's the one, and then he gets his ass kicked. And also, too, last time we saw Roman and Solo hesitated to help Roman during his match at SummerSlam with Jade. So I'm even sitting there, and also, again, I'm still continuing to ask this. Why isn't Roman telling Jimmy that right now he has more faith in Solo than him? But again, like I said, I've been saying this since Jimmy turned. It's a story that I feel like should be working. But each week, I'm just having more and more questions. But anyway, so I'm guessing that's setting up for a match with Cody and Jay versus Jimmy and Solo at Crown Jewel, maybe. I don't know. Like, that's what I'm seeing it going. But we'll see. All right, then we got another big spot of the night. We got Triple H coming out. And he first says he's got to admit there's a big part of him that misses the crowd and says it's electric in here tonight. He doesn't know if it's the time of the year or what. But he then gets down to business. He was introduced to has become a very successful career as a performer. He's been a 5-time NWA World Champion. And then, of course, it cuts to the shot immediately showing that Adam Pearce is in the ring. And Pearce has done such a good job overseeing both shows. And he thanks him. With that in mind, that job is incredibly difficult. And no one should do it alone. So he's happy here to tell Adam Pearce he'll no longer be alone, and he's getting promoted as the general manager of Monday Night Raw. And I'm thinking, well, first off, I like that they brought back GMs in this segment. We'll get to who was the SmackDown GM in a second. My only thing though is, what's the difference in their jobs? Like Adam Pearce was still making matches and everything. What's the difference between being the official and the GM to me? Like, to me, it feels like they're doing the same things. To me, it feels like he's getting help, and he's more so only going to be on one show rather than two. Which, again, was odd. But, anyways. So he then says, which leads him to question who will be the general manager of SmackDown. And then out comes Dominic Mysterio. And I'm like, why is Dom here if he's on Raw and Judgment Day no longer have the tag titles? He comes out, and he starts flipping out Triple H saying, you serious? Fastlane was not a tremendous success because Judgment Day was screwed out of the tag titles. And then, of course, the crowd's booing, and Hunter says, I thought these noises were actually pumped in, but the crowd actually is for real very loud. So, thankfully, he's good at lip reading. Saying something about injustice, and it's unfair for Jay and Cody to defend the titles tonight when they have their shot on Monday against the Judgment Day. And, of course, but then he tells them that Dom is yelling at the wrong people. He needs to be talking to the general manager of SmackDown, even though, did they already have the new GM for SmackDown? I don't know. Again, I'm still not sure why Dom was here for what was even in this segment. But anyways, they announced that, I heard rumors earlier today, and then I wasn't sure if they were going to be like, again, it's obviously were. The new general manager for SmackDown is 2-time NWA World Champion Nick Aldis, who is Mickie James' husband. So I'm like, okay, let's see how this goes. Again, I'm glad they brought back GMs, because we haven't had GMs since that big lie Vince McMahon told us in December 2018, were the McMahons. They let go of they let go of any general managers, Baron Corbin, and even Paige for no reason. Well, Baron Corbin got booted because he sucked, and also because he lost his match to Braun Strowman at TLC that year, and they just let go of Paige for no reason, which was absolutely stupid. But the McMahons come out there, and Vince goes, "We've not been doing a good job lately, but from now on, we're not the authority. You are." And guess what? Nothing changed. Except, of course, as Kevin Owens would say, we'll get to him in a second, that all that is happening is Shane McMahon has taken over the entire shows, and we're all sick of it. Nobody wanted to see that. And it's true. We never were the authority at that time. But that was the last time we had general managers. So Nick Aldis comes in and says he's proud to be the general manager of the number one brand in sports entertainment today. He shakes his hand with Adam Pearce, and he says he looks forward to healthy competition between the brands. And of course, they stick with the brands, what that is. We have Dominic Mysterio show for no reason on SmackDown, but whatever. So then he looks over to Dom. He's like, "Dom, it's nice to meet you, because I'm a big fan of your dad." And burned him. But then this is where things got really, I really got confused. He says, let's cut to the chase. A month ago, Cody Rhodes was instrumental in a deal that took Jey Uso to Monday Night Raw. And in exchange, a Raw superstar must come to SmackDown. So as his first act as general manager of Triple H's blessing, he'd like to make this official right now. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, well, Cody's tag champ right now. Technically, until him and Jay drop the titles, he can still work both brands, but he can put him to SmackDown now. Because again, that just seemed like the logical thing. Well, it's not quite what we got. We got a little bit of a curveball thrown here. And Dominic interrupts and says that Jay and Cody are the problems, and now he has to deal with him. And then Nick says he'll deal with him later. And Dom's like, I don't care who it is. He'll slap whoever the newest member of SmackDown is and respect him. Even though, once again, Dom, you're not a member of SmackDown. The person that they traded to SmackDown from Raw is Kevin Owens. Yeah, it was Kevin Owens. Which I'm like, huh? So Kevin Owens comes out and he hits a stunner on Dominic and then shakes Nick's hand. I'm very confused. Because if they wanted to bring back Jay and put him on Raw, cool. And then the whole story is they're going to move somebody to SmackDown in exchange for in exchange for Jay. You would think that it would be Cody, right? Because why else? If Cody Rhodes is able to pull the corporate strings like he said he was able to make this happen, and he's not getting anything in return for this, but Kevin Owens going to SmackDown. Because I'm not opposed to Kevin Owens getting a singles run again. They may have done this because him and Sammy basically told their story as a tag team already. And I get it, keep them separate because again, I'm at the point now where it's I don't need to see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn turn on each other and fight again. We've done that how many times? Maybe down the line, I still, well, then again, they already had a WrestleMania match. It was a good match. It wasn't a classic, but it was good. But they basically done everything together now they could. So, I don't need to see them fight again. So, I kind of get why they may have did that. But again, the story run itself is now I'm sitting and I'm so confused now. It's how is Cody going to get to Roman. At this point, unless some other random thing comes up, I'm like, I see this now, which I felt at Payback whenever he brought over Jade, but now that's not the case. Cody's still certainly a Raw superstar, but he can go between both brands. Like, is he going to hold the tag titles until WrestleMania so that way he can fight Roman? He's going to be tag champ and Universal champ when he dethrones Roman at Mania, which he should this time. I don't know. I'm confused now. Like, at this point, Cody's going to have to win the Rumble. But my thing is, though, is Cody's already won the Rumble. I'm not saying I would hate it if Cody won the Rumble again, but again, I'd rather it be somebody new. I'd rather be like a Gunther, or even an LA Knight, or I don't know, if CM Punk would come back, even though there's rumors he's not coming back, which again, I don't care if he comes back to some of you or not. I don't care either way. I don't care. But my point is, I'd rather see Cody get to Roman a different way. Especially, again, if it's for a rematch. To make a wrong right. Like, have him go through other obstacles and not just win the Rumble again and pick Roman as his opponent. Yeah, they could do the thing where he wins the Rumble and they have somebody, like another thorn in his side. Like, I don't know. Because they've been teased a match with Cody and Drew for a bit. Maybe that will be it? I don't know. I don't know. But again, it's just weird. Like why did you start this story with Cody and Jay just to have Kevin Owens go to SmackDown? Again, it left me. I have the faith that Triple H has a plan. But again, it left me very confused as to, again, what was the point of even Cody bringing Jay over just for Cody not to go to SmackDown and return. Like, it's very confusing. But we'll see where it goes. But then it shows, well, okay, I'm sorry. I thought Jimmy left with Soul the first time. It was until the second time. So after this, they show this, and Roman Reigns unloads on Jimmy for still hanging out, even though he got told the plan was already. And Jimmy's like, if you're serious, and Roman's like, he isn't, but imagine if he was, and Jimmy takes a hint, gets up to leave and run the play, asking Solo to come with him. So, even though we never really saw him again until the main event, but I thought we would see him in another match, but we didn't. Anyways, though, but yeah, because even some people were saying that they could have Kevin Owens be the one take on the dethroned Roman Reigns, which I wouldn't hate, because Kevin Owens should be a world champion again. I agree with that. And yes, he has a history with Roman, but again, that's the only thing that worries me about all these guys getting protected against Roman, is like, okay, the one that is heartbreaking the most is Cody. Because Cody's supposed to be the one who's came the closest. But if you have too many guys become this close, then it's like, okay, then what's the difference between Cody winning it, or Sammy, or Drew, or LA Knight, or Kevin Owens? So I don't know what they're going to do with Kevin Owens on SmackDown. Again, give him a singles push, yes, but I don't think he's going to be in the world title picture yet, unless if he's in like the Elimination Chamber match or something. If they have Roman defend the title in the Chamber in Australia, we'll see. But anyways, we then get a hype reel for Dragon Elite, which I'm guessing he's getting called up. Cool. I'm cool with that. Then Nick Aldis is backstage, and he's dealing with Chelsea Green, which again, Chelsea can flip between brands because her and Piper are the women's tag champs, even though they've done absolutely nothing with them lately. But Chelsea's demanding new belts on Italian leather. And then Charlotte Flair comes in, and Nick Aldis says, I have a meeting, and we'll talk to them later. Of course, Chelsea's like, not a good first impression. So they walk away. And And Nick Aldis tells Charlotte he's aware that if Bayley had not distracted the referee, she'd be champion. And next week, since everything's under a different watch now with him in charge, he's going to give Charlotte a title match against Io Sky. And I'm like, oh. They're getting ready to put the belt back on her again. And I still just, oh God. I still would love to see the rematch with Io and Asuka, or if they really are going to bring in Kairi. Well, of course, they could bring in Kairi and put her on SmackDown, keep her away from Nia Jax. But do Io and Kairi, like, oh God. So I'm pretty sure next week they're going to give the belt to Charlotte. Because they teased a big match here. Because right after they get done, Charlotte turns to leave, and who does she run right into? The new big money free agent. The first, well, I think the first female to jump ship after having a successful run in AEW to WWE, Jade Cargill. Her and Charlotte go face to face. Triple H standing right in the middle, and you feel that this is the money match they want to do down the line. Triple H goes to introduce Charlotte, and Charlotte's like, yeah, I know who you are. And Jade's like, it's your pleasure. And Flair says, it will be. So I'm pretty sure what's going to happen is Charlotte's going to win the title next week. Hold it till WrestleMania. And we'll probably get Jade Cargill versus Charlotte Flair. Not going to say no to that. That could be good. It could be, yes. We'll see, though. Because like I said, in her triple threat matches lately, Charlotte's not been looking her best. And again, like, I keep saying this too. Why not do a non-title... I said, Charlotte just needs to have a few non-title feuds. And stop coming back and getting nothing but championship matches. Because it's driving me crazy. Give her something else to her character besides the girl who always gets title shots. Because that's going to continue to get her the white heat. But that's a tease for probably WrestleMania. I think I know they probably had Bianca and Charlotte one-on-one in mind, which we still got to get. We'll probably get it when Bianca comes back, because I think Bianca's coming back as a heel. Maybe she'll be the female member of Bobby Lashley in the Street Profits faction, which would be pretty awesome, I would say. But the eventual match, I think the end game for WrestleMania for the women's title is Charlotte and Jade. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, I still think Jade should go to NXT. Because in the meantime, who's Jade going to feud with? Because I even wanted to put Jade on my Crown Jewel card. But there's nobody on SmackDown besides Io or, well, I would say Asuka. But even Asuka, I'm like, I don't think her and Jade should be touching yet. I still think Jade should go to NXT first. And her be the one to take the title off of Becky. But I guess it's not happening. Unless she is, and they're just putting her on all shows just to tease her before they officially make it official where she's going. I don't know, but this is obviously a future tease between Charlotte and Jade. But anyways, we then have the tag title match with Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso defend the titles against Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Because Austin Theory and Grayson Waller are the best tag team of all time. They're 3-0. Yeah, Cody and Jey made pretty good work of them. They beat them. Afterwards, which I'm surprised they didn't come out during the match, but after the match, Jimmy and Solo come out to confront the tag champs on stage. And then, of course, then Roman Reigns comes out. And then as Cody and Jey go to leave, Cody and Roman have a stare down. And it's the first time since the Raw after Mania when Brock Lesnar, which we still don't know why, beat down Cody Rhodes in front of Roman Reigns. That is the last time we have seen Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns in the ring at the same time. So they have a stare down. Obviously, again, teasing, we are getting the rematch at some point. How are we going to get there again? At this point, again, I have no idea. And then the main event, we got L.A. Knight, yeah, and Solo Sikoa. Match was fine. Towards the end of the match, Jimmy Uso tried getting involved. He has that smug look on his face like, hey, yeah, it's my night, it's my show now, I run this now, I'm the shit, I'm the quarterback. Just for John Cena to come running in. He takes out Jimmy with an attitude adjustment, but then off the distraction, eats a spike from Solo Sikoa. But because of Solo getting rid of Cena, LA Knight snuck in, recovered, hit the blunt force trauma on Solo Sikoa, and gets a win. I was cool with that. They protected Solo, and they had LA Knight get a win. Take care of some business. But after the match, unfortunately, out of nowhere, bam! Roman Reigns spears LA Knight to win the show. And that looks like it's going to be the main event for Crown Jewel, LA Knight and Roman Reigns. Here's the thing again. I'm already preparing myself because I really don't think they're going to give the belt to LA Knight. I would love to, but again, I keep saying, it's got to be Cody. But as I also said before too, they have to be careful. Because how many more times can someone come so close and then not win it? Because again, it's gonna be like, okay, well, if Cody's getting the shot, why couldn't Drew get the moment? Or if Cody gets a second shot, why can't LA Knight or Sami Zayn? All that. Unless literally Cody wins the belt, and then all those guys who didn't quite get it go after Cody. I mean, that's some good matches there. Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn one-on-one. Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens one-on-one. Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre one-on-one. Cody Rhodes and L.A. Knight one-on-one. Yeah! We'll see, though. But that's who's getting the shot next. L.A. Knight. Again, I'm hoping they make the most of it. And yeah, we'll go from there. So that's my thoughts on SmackDown. Again, weird episode. Again, I'm pretty deadly. There's still some holes. I mean, again, the stuff between Roman and LA Knight was phenomenal. There's still some holes, though, in my opinion, with the whole bloodline storyline. Bobby Lashley and Carlito and whatnot was fine. I'm cool. Again, I like that they brought back GMs. Again, the whole thing with Kevin, the big head scratcher for me is them bringing Kevin Owens over to SmackDown instead of Cody Rhodes. But we'll see how it goes. I'll give it a B- because, again, I didn't hate it, but it still left me confused. But we'll see what happens next, guys. So that, guys, is my thoughts on this week's episode of SmackDown. I give it a B-. What are your guys' thoughts on the season premiere of Friday Night SmackDown? Leave your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. And be sure, as always, to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. And follow me on Twitter as well at the Club of the Man 93. You may also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at the Club of the Man 1993. And until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you guys all later. And do not forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself. And that is not just an opinion. That is a fact of life. Yeah!